904, 905, 906, 907, 908, 909, 910, 911, 911, 912.
Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, my name is Senator Fatima Razaki. I rise to move the motion that the vote on proceedings of Thursday, 12th of October 2017 be adopted.
Thank you. To second the vote. Second.
Announcements. Distinguished colleagues, this announcement is from the ad hoc committee on investigation of allegations of corruption against the NNPC Trading Limited. The meeting of the ad hoc committee on investigation of the allegations of corruption against the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation Trading Limited, earlier scheduled for Senator Aliu Wamakoche. Birthday announcement. The 16th was the birthday of Senator Chukwuka Utazi. On behalf of this announcement, dear colleagues, I would like to acknowledge the presence of members of the National Association of Delta States. Also, we have staff and students of Doveland International School who say to Abuja. All right, you're most welcome.
Presentation of the report of the Committee on Culture and Tourism on the Nigerian Tourism Development Corporation Act Repeal and Reenactment Bill 2017. Mr. President, may we invite Senator Matthew Urogide, Chairman of the Committee.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, and Senator Matthew Urogide, I represent the South Central District, Lagos State. Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, I rise to move that the Senate do receive the report of the Committee on Culture and Tourism on the Nigerian Tourism Development Corporation Act, Repeal and Reenactment Bill 2017, SB 4.
Senator Odia.
Distinguished colleagues, my name is Senator Clifford Odia, representing the Edo Central Senatorial District, Repeal and Reenactment Bill 2017. I so second.
Dear colleagues, those in support of the motion that Senate do now receive this report. Thank you. Senate Leader.
Presentation of the interim report need to examine the operations of the Senate to receive the report.
All right. To move the motion that the Senate do receive in respect of the motion on the urgent need to examine the operations of Nigeria.
Thank you, Mr. President. I would do receive the report on the Committee on Customs, Excise and Tariffs and Marine Transport in respect of the motion on the urgent need to examine the operations of the Nigerian Customs.
Do that again, say nay.
Mr. President, very distinguished colleagues, the first order of the day is a motion standing in the name of Senator Barnabas Gemade and 5 others on the demise of Mr.
Northeast Senatorial District. The President, I rise to move this motion on the demise of Lieutenant General Victor Samuel Manu, retired, and moving with me Senator Jeremiah Oseni, serving with him at ECOMOG, prepared senators. The President, the Senate notes with heavy heart and a deep sense of loss the demise of Lieutenant General Samuel Victor Malu, retired, former Chief of Army Staff, at the early hours of Sunday, October 9, 2017, Benue State, in the north-central region of Nigeria. Senate notes further that Lieutenant General Samuel Victor Malu, retired, enrolled into the Nigerian Defense Academy, Kaduna, in 1967 as part of the legendary Plenary. He subsequently attended at the Command and Staff College, Judge. Senator Malu, retired, rose to the pinnacle of his military career. He became the Commander, ECOWAS Peacekeeping Force, ECOMOG, and later Chief of Army Staff of the Nigerian Army. Army and country in Army headquarters. Senate observes that Lieutenant General Samuel Victor Malu, retired, is a proud awardee of national and several prestigious military awards and honors, such as Force Service National Institute, MNI, and Past Staff College, PSS. Senate notes that for his diligence and professionalism in turning the fortunes of that sub-regional peace force around during the Liberian First Civil War. Senate observes that as a Chief of Army Staff, he doggedly canvassed and undertook reforms aimed at preserving appointments throughout his working life. Senate is aware that his demise is a great loss to the people of Benue North and the high-powered delegation of Benue State, and said, urged the federal government of Nigeria to immortalize Lieutenant General Samuel Victor Malu.
Mr. President, the motion, Senator Barnabas Kemade, on behalf of many of us, some of us are not here today. Mr. President, points testimony to professionalism of military, attempt to lure him into military politics. Mr. President refused the seduction of political power. He was totally committed to the army and displayed integrity in a period of Chief of Army Staff. General Danjuma was then the Minister of Defense. The Chief of Army Staff, and General Danjuma, in his cute remarks, and those who know General Danjuma, a no-nonsense officer, a man who loves this country, a man who dreams this country, told me one thing. General Malu merited that appointment. I went through their records, not through their faces. I appointment as the member of the Provisional Ruling Council, the highest legislative body, not our own anyway, in the country at that time. General Commander of ECOMOG, and because of his marked achievement, that country acknowledged his exploits and awarded him the Distinguished Service Order in a rare career, spanning over 33 years. He never served in any political capacity. Committed totally in 2001, very strong in his principles. And again, once President, therefore, thank you for this opportunity to make this modest contribution in support of this motion, which has been moved by virtually, as my brother said, all of us, country to his military.
Malu in 1997 in Sierra Leone, but our ship Malu. because he was that much of a legend to be captured by Charles Taylor's forces. General Malu, as chief of command there, and became the field commander in Liberia. Eventually, peace was restored as the president that time. While General Malu was controlling Liberia before the elections to Sierra Leone, we tend to forget he visited Sierra Leone. I was a student of the ECOMOG played to restore peace earlier. When he was alive, he was given the highest award that Liberia could possibly give to somebody in appreciation of his role there. So, sir, I'm very delighted that this Senate, clearly, I don't think it will be out of place because he really did something. Thank you.
Right, thank you, distinguished colleagues, Samuel Victor Malo, and to the people of Benue State, indeed Nigerians and people of West Africa who have lost while he was alive. He contributed. Every great nation takes their story about the loss of this great Nigeria. Distinguished colleagues, terrible and regrettable. I would like to say that this Senate will work with the military authorities to ensure that we make our story to address this issue. So let me quickly go to the prayers. Prayer 1. Observe 1 minute silence in honor of late. Send a high-powered delegation of these hallowed chambers to condole with the family, the people, and government of Benue. The eyes are prayer 3. May the soul of late Lieutenant General Samuel Victor Malo rest in perfect peace.
Mr. President, very distinguished colleagues, the second order of the United Nations International Day for the Eradication move the motion.
Senator Wakil Mwenai.
Your Excellency, Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, my name is Senator commemoration of the United Nations International Day for the Eradication of Poverty, which usually holds on 17th of October each year. With me moving this motion are 22 other. The Senate knows that October 17th is the day set aside. President, I need protection. The room is noisy. This year, 2017, marks the 25th anniversary of the declaration by the General Assembly of the United Nations, 17th October, as the International Day for Eradication of Poverty. Note also that this year also marks the 30th anniversary of the call to action by Father Joseph Resinki, which inspired the observation of October 17th as the World Day for Overcoming of Extreme Poverty and the recognition by the United Nations of the day as the International Day for Eradication of Poverty. Joseph and social exclusion for the 2017 commemoration under the same reminds us of the importance of the values of dignity, solidarity, and voice underscored in the call to action to fight to end poverty everywhere. Further aware that the International Day for the Eradication of Poverty and its antecedents, the World Day for Overcoming Extreme Poverty, are intended to promote dialogue and understanding between people living in poverty and their communities and society. It is meant to demonstrate with Senate resolve to call as a World Poverty Day that policies and programs should. And for distinguished colleagues, that is the crux of the motion. And I want to draw our attention to the fact that the level of poverty inside this Nigeria is a great threat to everybody living here. Our people are in great need. Some of them don't have...
You've moved their motion. Others can now contribute. All right, we take Senators Ata Edoko, Jubri Barao, Commissioner Sani, and Gobe, and then we'll go to the prayers.
Thank you, Mr. President. My highly respected colleagues, my name is Senator Achai Aidoku Ali. I represent Kogi. Mr. President, but I believe 80% of Nigerians are below the leadership of this country.
what is poverty, and we're doing very bad. Mr. President, 15 years ago when Obasanjo went to negotiate the Paris Club exit, and it coincided with the sustainable MDGs at that time, there was an agreement by the government of Nigeria to dedicate $1 billion savings every year for 15 years in the eradication of poverty. Mr. President, in the first 2 years, Nigeria kept this promise. After that, it keeps dwindling up to when it gets to almost zero. Mr. President, for this year, Sustainable Development Goal MDG has been transformed to SDG. But for this year, even the mere few billions that was allocated for SDG has not been, no kobo has been released. This country had even gone to the United Nations to make commitments that Nigeria is going to keep to the SDG program. As we speak today, no single kobo has been released for the funding of the SDG programs in this country. So, Mr. President, this motion is timely. This is a wake-up call to those that are managers of this economy, these are the things that make sense to the ordinary Nigerians. So, Mr. President, I want to urge this Senate to appeal to government to release funds that are meant for the eradication.
All right, thank you. Senator Jubril Barao.
Thank you, Mr. President. I am Barao. Poverty is devastating. Poverty is dangerous. And a friend of mine always says that, I want to add that poverty goes beyond that. It's also a weapon of mass destruction. I say this because if you are not poor, you'll be able to treat yourself, the disease on this earth, which is the easiest to cure, as a mark in Nigeria, as a country that belongs to sub-Saharan Africa, because the two regions on the earth that are most people are poor, need to eradicate poverty in our country, in our region, and the whole earth. Poverty deprives one from the answer to that, where you have sound, home and dry. But the irony is that while we try very hard to have a sound economy through Mr. President, what we need to have, yes, we are trying to diversify our economy, to strengthen our agricultural system. People like those who are involved in commercial agriculture, they are not really feeling safe on their farms. Kidnappers move into their farms to harass them, kidnap their workers, and so on and so forth. This is something we need to have to look at, because food security is very, very important to eradicate poverty. I'm drawing attention to this particular problem because agricultural systems, having a sound and robust agricultural system is very, very important. It is necessary to have a system. I want my colleagues also.
Senator, order. Order.
I stand as Comrade Senator Chiusani to add my voice. International Day for the Eradication of Poverty set aside to bring to global spotlight the dispossessed is a threat, essential reality of a state. Alleviate poverty, to eradicate dispossessed and poverty. If we have a sound, efficient economy system that will provide made in the very sense that it's out of every system, out of every policy and program, government after government that is implemented. International Day for the Eradication of Poverty is aimed at igniting the interest of government to bring in programs that will directly impact on the lives of the poor. We have seen it in different countries of the world. If we don't address the problem of poverty, we risk
a serious revolution in this country. Young people who in every possible way should be productive and contributing to the socio-economic development of their nation, but have completely been marginalized. A day like this will bring to spotlight our attention, our conscience, and our interest to the need for us to give each and every citizen in the best interest of the state an opportunity for him or her to contribute his own quota. On the final note, I will say this, that we have seen it in other nations where programs and policies do to lift over and policies. It's very simple. Our budget should be implemented, and we should also ensure that agencies that are established for the purpose are actually working for such purpose. I thank you very much.
All right, thank you. Finance Senator Gobiel.
Your Excellency, distinguished colleagues, this of the world, and the need to pay more attention. Every family of 10, at least 7 are poor. But of course, there may be some exceptions here and there. And therefore, there is need for us to come up drastically with ideas that can eradicate poverty in Nigeria. The bill that we passed on Poverty Eradication Commission is a bill that the government should take very seriously, because there is need to craft it well in such a way that, yes, if it is done, we should be able to measure the percentage of poverty on every quota, in every quota, so that at least we can address the issue. In the country, the development index, it shows that we have a problem here. Why? Because the issue of health, income, and education is a factor of this HDI. And that is why you find that people are dying just within 45 to 53. So I think this is very important.
All right, thank you, distinguished colleagues. I'd like to thank those who contributed. I believe they spoke on behalf of all of us on a day like this when we commemorate the United Nations Day on the eradication of poverty. Distinguished colleagues, I believe that eradication of poverty is a tall order. And then what countries aim at is to reduce poverty or to alleviate poverty, because the Bible is clear that the poor will always be with us. So what is important, I think, is to ensure that we alleviate poverty, we reduce poverty, and most countries have aspired to take most of their citizens out of poverty. But I'm not aware of any country that have sufficiently eradicated poverty, and it's not likely to going to happen. So as a responsible country, we must focus on ensuring that we reduce poverty in our country. We alleviate the implications of poverty to our citizens through massive compulsory free education, ensuring that there is a social safety nets. We distribute income through taxation, ensuring that the rich will pay more and then the poor will pay less. In that way, we try as much as possible to redistribute income. So, and I believe that if we also focus on massive industrialization, we'll be able to provide jobs for a lot of people, and that too will also help to reduce the poverty. So on this note, I would like to thank all of you for your contributions, and if it's a wish, we'll go straight to the prayers. Prayer 1. Call on the federal government, the federal, state, and local governments of Nigeria to henceforth designate and observe October 17 as World Poverty Day in line with the UN resolution. Those who support this prayer say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Prayer 2. Appeal to the community-based organizations, the media, both conventional and social, to step up discourse and discussions on the scourge of poverty and the basement of human dignity. Those support of this prayer say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Prayer 3. That policies and programs evolved by the federal government through the social investment programs and other poverty alleviation and eradication measures are vigorously pursued. Those in support of this prayer say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. And finally, that the federal government, amendment to which one? 4, okay, go ahead. We have not finished.
Thank you, Mr. President. My amendment to the
order.
4.
Sabi.
Thank you, Mr. President. Aliu Sabi Abdullahi, Niger North. I rise to second the motion moved by distinguished Senator Ataya.
Dear colleagues, prayer 4, that the federal government of Nigeria do fund in SSDGs that will eliminate poverty in line with Goal 16. Those support of this prayer say aye. Those against.
Senator Bukaraba Ibrahim, CON-FNIQS, Galadima Abgadaguno, and several other titles numbering 46.
Put on your microphone.
The additional prayer, sir, is that the best, the easiest, and the most noble way of fighting poverty and eradicating poverty, even in the long run. Thank you, sir.
Any person seconding? Yes.
Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, I remain Muhammad Adamale, representing Kemi Center, Bukurapa, that free and compulsory education should be declared in the
Distinguished colleagues, those that in support of the additional prayer that the government do insist on free and compulsory education at all levels, say aye. Those against saying the ayes have it. Thank you. Third leader. Additional prayer to pray.
His policy of creating a robot.
Say that again. To a microphone.
That the federal government should strengthen its policy of creating a robust and up-and-doing economy in Nigeria, as it is the best way to eradicate poverty in this country.
Central Senatorial District have a robust.
Those support of the additional prayer say aye. Those against saying nay. The ayes have it. Thank you, Snell Leader.
Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, the third order of the day is a motion standing in the name of Senator Shehu Sani on the need to sanction private companies and institutions that.
And I start. The Senate notes with profound distress the deteriorating conditions under which the workers of this country function, particularly with is now increasingly an institution that disallow labor unionism. The Federal Republic of Nigeria, 1999 as amended, provides that every person shall be entitled to assemble freely and associate with other persons, and in particular, he may form or belong to any political party, trade union, or any association for the purpose of his interest. Aware also, many of which Nigeria has acceded to and is a party, recognize this inalienable right of the worker to unionize and associate freely. Recalls that sometimes in early 2017, the Nigeria Labour Congress organized a mass picket of the corporate headquarters of the giant MTN Nigeria to protest the decision of the company to prescribe unionism in the companies and institutions in Nigeria, including private universities, in blatant disregard of the collective platform of workers. Contends that this ignominious halted and reversed in the present democratic dispensation, and under the watchful and voice of the Nigerian people, workers inclusive. Accordingly resolved, 1, to mandate the Senate Committee on Labor Matters to, as a matter of urgency, draw up measures of ensuring compliance with labor unionism in workplaces, and 2, urges the Senate Committee
on labor matters to ensure that companies who are prescribing unionism in their companies are appropriately sanctioned. I so move, Mr. President.
All right. So Joshua Lidani.
Thank you, Mr. President. My name is Joshua Lidani. I represent from the sub on the condition of workers. This is a very worrisome development, especially considering the fact that organizations join whatever organization they wish to belong to. It is their inalienable right to do so. And for some private organizations or employers of labor to stop them or reduce them to associate or form unions runs contrary to the spirit and intent of the provision of the Constitution that gives them that right. And as a corollary to that is the fact that presently workers are witnessing a high turnover in the private sector. The condition of service is such that they are given impossible targets to meet. And if they are not able to meet these targets, their appointment is terminated. Especially in the banking sector. You find people joining the banks, given impossible targets. After serving 1 or 2 years, they are thrown out of into the labor market. All these things are contributing to the problem of insecurity, joblessness, and high unemployment rate that we are with. But the absence of unionism is creating this problem. I think time has come for matter, so that unless that is done, we will continue to have labor crisis in this country, the condition of service, the employment of...
Thank you, Senator Kofi.
Let me start by saying that I congratulate the mover of this unionism. So anywhere, whether it is university, companies, to have a union. Now, like my colleague has rightly said, in Nigeria now, there are 2 institutions who are suffering seriously. Remember about both the SAC or Human. If you don't have any unionism anywhere, there is nowhere that organization can propose. That is the forum where all the unions can lay their complaints so that at least the organization now can see where they are wrong and where they are right. So I support this motion, and this motion should be considered
a way of calling us to action and also to do what we agreed to do when we assembled here and when we took our oath of office, which is namely to defend our Constitution and uphold our Constitution. Because the Constitution is clear on the right of our people to associate freely, especially Section 40 of the Constitution, which reads that every person shall be entitled to assemble freely and associate with other persons, and in particular, he may form or belong to any political party, trade union, or any other association for the protection of his interest. So while we have the process and procedures for enforcement of human rights, I think it's also appropriate that this Senate takes appropriate steps to ensure that the rights of our people are not violated in labor-related areas. So I think that this is worth supporting, and therefore go straight to the prayers. Distinguished colleagues, Prayer 1, mandate the Senate Committee on Labor Matters to, as a matter of
Committee on Employment, Labor and Productivity, not labor matters. Thank you.
Is that something I'd like? All right, those support of the prayers say aye. That's as amended. Those support of the prayers amended say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have been prayer 2. Or the Senate Committee on Labor Matters, or that's the Senate Committee on Employment and Labor, to ensure prescribed unionism in their companies are properly sanctioned. Those support of this prayer say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Thank you, the very distinguished Senator Sheikh Sani. Senate Leader.
Mr. President, very distinguished colleagues, the fourth order of the day is a motion standing in the name of Senator Honorable propagation of the resource cars theory. Mr. President, may we invite Senator Honorable Tinubu to move the motion.
Senator Tinubu.
Thank you, Mr. President. rise to, my name is Oluremi Tinubu, representing Lagos Central Senatorial District. I rise to move the motion on update on the lead poisoning in Zamfara State and the need to prevent further propagation of the resource curse theory. This motion is sponsored by all the members of the Committee on Environment, by Senator Ovie Omoagege, Senator Suleiman. Updates on lead poisoning which occurred in 38 villages and communities in Zamfara State. Recalls that in 2014, 38 villages including Anka, Abada, Maru, Sunke, Tonga Daji, Tonga Guru, and Yagauma, etc., were reported to have been affected by the effect of artisanal mining, unwholesome mining practices, and the resulting processing of gold, with varying effects ranging from blindness, infertility, neurological defects, etc. Over 400 children casualties were recorded, with many others needing treatment. Sequel to this, a motion was moved by Senator Sahabi Yao in the 7th Assembly. The Senate recalls that in June 2016, Senator David Umaru moved a motion on urgent remediation of lead poisoning in Shikira community of Nigeria to urgently approve or release needed intervention funds from the Ecological Fund Office for urgent remediation of areas affected, and the Committee on Solid Minerals to review the 2007 Mining Act to reflect present realities in the sector as it affects local communities. The Senate is disturbed that reports show that only 8 of the 38 affected communities in Zamfara State have had any remediation carried out, with the effect that too many Nigerians are suffering, unable to access effective medical treatment for the resulting ailment, losing loved ones, and suffering deformity, wherein thousands were reported to have been affected and in need of treatment. Note also that due to paucity of funds, the MSF and several other civil society organizations have had to pull out of the area. The Senate is aware that Bagega, the largest community affected in Zamfara State, has been remediated. However, with no alternative source of livelihood for these artisanal miners, a repeat scenario is in the offing. Received that besides Zamfara, mining host communities in states like Kogi, Niger State, have also been affected by the negative effects of mining practices. Note that Nigeria does not qualify as a mining state. The 2016 gross domestic product breakdown shows the mining sector's contribution to the nation's GDP to be abysmal. The Senate further notes that the nation's mining sector is also redundant, that the Honorable Minister of Solid Minerals, Dr. Senate, is worried, however, even though mining is yet to make economic impact, symptoms of the resource curse have begun to be evident, particularly. The Senate further is worried that if we do nothing, we may well be on our way to creating a Niger Delta situation, except on a larger scale, as nearly every state of the Federation will be affected. The Senate is mindful that this environmental abuse negates and breach the right of citizens to right to life, dignity of person, and the Chapter 2 rights as enshrined in the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Invite the Minister of Solid Minerals to appear before the Senate in plenary to deliver a brief on its mining roadmap, implementation framework, and how it intends to ascertain the level of damage done and report to the Senate. 3. Urge the Minister of Solid Mineral Committee on Environment to investigate the activities of the Ministry of Environment as it affects the mining sector.
Yes, Magnus.
Mr. President, my distinguished and esteemed colleagues, I rise to second the motion so ably moved being right under our everybody else. They made a few dollars, they made a few naira, and in the end, the community continues to pay for what a single individual would have taken, mining sector. Mr. President, my distinguished colleagues, proud in the country, but the professions and agencies which there is nobody to take charge and people simply do whatever they like, and the community suffers. Once more, that is the situation that we're beginning.
This is not just, and not the only place that lead has been found. Lead also exists in Yobe and Borno and Adamawa areas. Views that will lead our people to very serious dangers. Mr. President, I therefore support this motion to bring...
Thank you, distinguished colleagues. Section 14.2b of the motion is all about. Yes, we are aware that there are a lot of illegal mining going on, and this is affecting the lives of those who are engaging in this. Sure that the appropriate things are done around places where this mining takes place. So I think that this motion is apt and has to appear before the Senate in plenary to deliver a brief on its mining roadmap, implementation of framework, and how it intends to ensure protection of the residents, mining host communities. Those support of this prayer say aye. Those against saying aye. Those against saying the ayes have it. Prayer 3. Urge the Minister of Solid Minerals to ensure adoption of safer mining methods by the ayes have it. Prayer 4. Yes, Bukaraba.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. I remain Senator Bukaraba Branch, CONAV East Senatorial District. So, in the light of items 1 and 3, which we have already passed, I do not believe that the fourth item here is necessary. The Minister would have come and briefed us. All the activities what we have been told. We want the Minister of Committee on the Environment to come and go and inspect all these communities that are involved. So I don't think item prayer 4 is really necessary. Thank you.
Okay. If
this is a situation that can affect the rest of the country, I think if he has a roadmap, he should come and present it to the Senate. And
it's not the roadmap that the issue here. Is you are investigating the Ministry of Environment. Senator Bukar. No, not your own Bukar.
Mr. President, we should actually suspend prayer 4 because if we listen to the minister, then we'll be able to...
Well, as long as you have not withdrawn the prayer, let's just put the question and see what you say. Prayer 4, mandate the Senate Committee on Environment to investigate the activity of the Minister of Environment as it affects the mining sector. Those in support of this prayer say aye. Those against say nay. Let me put the question again. Those about prayer 4 that we mandate the Senate Committee on Environment to investigate the activities of the Minister of Environment as it affects the mining sector. Those in support say aye. Those in support say nay. The ayes have it. Student leader. Student leader.
Mr. President, very distinguished colleagues, relying on orders 39 and 1B, I want to make a simple adjustment. The 8th order now becomes the 5th order, and the 5th becomes the 6th, and it follows in that order. Mr. President, very distinguished colleagues, the 6th order of the day, the 5th order of the day rather, the 5th order of the day, Mr. President, you may wish to invite Senator Mamadou Adamu Alero to move this motion.
Senator Alero.
Thank you, Mr. President. I remain Senator Muhammad Adam Alero, representing Kebbi Central. Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, this motion is about education. Just about 20 minutes ago, we discussed that the best way to alleviate poverty in Nigeria is to declare. The Senate notes that the falling standard and poor quality of education in Nigeria observe that the prescribed standards for primary, secondary, and tertiary education are not being attained by educators and policymakers, as pupils and students do not possess or demonstrate the knowledge and skills expected of them at critical points in their educational career. In public examinations are declining in such an alarming rate that if nothing is done now, the education sector is most likely to descend into crisis. Aware that the curricular and assessment system provide results, assets of the economy and the society. Further note that the causes of the falling standard and quality of education in the country include poor funding and neglect of the education sector by federal and state governments that have over the years allowed basic school infrastructure and facilities across the country to run down to the point of sordid decay. Aware that the distasteful state of teaching, a profession that has become very unattractive to undergraduate and postgraduate students with prescribed standards and quality for primary, secondary, and tertiary schools and research facilities, otherwise be attracted to it. Convinced the ability to compete effectively in the modern age of science, willingly resolved to urge the federal and state government to declare a state of emergency in the education sector. 2. Urge the federal and state government to restore the glory of teaching profession by improving the status of teachers through building capacity to deliver better quality education. Urge the federal and state government to be more involved in early childhood education, seeing that it is the foundation of every level of education. And lastly, urge the Nigerian Teachers Association Council to evolve a more vibrant methodologies for delivering on their mandate. I so move, Mr. President.
Senator Wakil.
Your Excellency, Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, I rise to lend my voice and to support this very timely, apt, and very important motion. Some of us sitting down here, sir, who have to do some self-examination are part of those problems that we are speaking about. All these issues, if you look at it, is due to bad governance, selfish elites, lack of visionary leadership. We throw in leaders that don't have vision. Education is also the backbone of each and every society. No religion, no people develop without education. Education is supposed to be the rising track to all development is always neglected. Poor infrastructure, poor facilities, teachers not being paid, equipments are not there. Nobody seems to be bothered. You recruit people, you dump them without continuous education and other things. You discover that we have killed the public schools, most especially because of our selfishness as elites. You discover that when our children are in London or in Dubai, the elites are here. They will only send them to go to the football pitch, the sons of the ordinary citizens. And this is very bad for our development, very bad for our country. I expect this Senate to take a decisive much ado was led by the government. That's federal. But I'm very sure,
other than the different colors, and then we write today is given to 500 students. So if the school has 2,000 students, 4 bags of rice is cooked for the back in 1998, I went to a primary school in one village in Abadam local government, that a teacher wrote something on the terrorists, that I think all attention needs to be focused and declare the state of emergency, just like the motion has said, on the issue of education. It doesn't matter where, and I'm sure everywhere, quality of education has really fallen. So I urge my colleagues, urge the federal government, state governments, and local governments to declare the state of emergency on education. Thank you.
We'll take Senator Uchen.
Your Excellency, I am Senator Anthony Uchendo. I represent Rivers East Central District. Your Excellency, my dear colleagues, this is a very, very important motion. Our general failure in this country could be linked up with the decline of what we often call falling our educational standards. If we take our minds back to when some of us were opportune to be given the opportunity to go to school, we will see that the situation, the environment we find ourselves in those days no longer exists. We had teachers who were disciplined, teachers who were committed to their calling, teachers who were prepared and focused to train the children. Today, we do not have such teachers anymore. They are all part-time. They are doing one thing in the morning, and a different thing in the afternoon, and a completely different thing in the evening. The people themselves, the students themselves, the undergraduates themselves, are no longer serious because no more competition. The facilities are no longer there. The curriculum seems to be reversed. A lot of things have changed. The support that government should give are no longer in existence. So one will be asked, what has really gone wrong? The only salvation, the only solution would be, as this way, we should go back to the building block. They do not go to school at all. Now, and you see a student who cannot write good, correct English, good sentence, not being given second class upper, first class upper. Yes, who may come from the catchment area. When we talk of leadership failure, it is because the input in them will have been lacking before this time. And therefore, I will urge my colleagues to support this very important motion. There is nothing we can do other than a clear declaration of state of emergency in education. Let's go back to the building block and start all over again. Thank you.
All right, finally, Senator Majerogide.
Mr. President, thank you very much for this privilege to lend my voice in support of this important motion that has been raised by Senator Aliyu. Many nations cannot be overemphasized because development of the state of mind of the human being, the best that you can give education was thought of was to ensure human capital development, which of course is what any nation can ever have as an asset. Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, we have all watched in this country as education has gone down, both in terms of standards and importance. Everyone seems to be helpless in our quest to try to help the situation. But everyone seems to be helping, the situation that is going down. Number one, the government that we have had, all the tiers of government that we have had, even up to this day, really has not done anything seriously that can, of course, lift up the standard of education in our country. It is common knowledge that you see a graduate today who will tell you he has a degree from the university, who cannot speak a complete sentence, in English, or who cannot make any constructive sense in anything that, of course, they have, to present at any point in time. Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, we have called for emergency, we have called for all of this. People who are educators, people who have taken pain over the years, who have headed our education ministry, they have all come. We know that in recent times, the emergence of private schools from
kindergarten to primary, secondary to university. We know it too that today is all over the place that you and I, who are privileged in terms of getting the resources, are not doing what they are supposed to do. Their standard is not good enough to support the kind of education we believe our children must have. Not only that, nobody supervising any of these institutions as it used to be in the past to see that standards are kept. So if you want to look at it, the totality of everything, that government has completely negated responsibility in ensuring that the question of funding education, even though everybody will say, yeah, funding it, when money was not even available, we were able to talk about, states like Bender that existed in those days, from what it was, the number of schools from primary to secondary, students that went abroad, Britain, America have scholarships, those that were in Nigeria, that governments that we have had subsequently, particularly military administrations, they have never contributed in any primary. What we used to have in those days, they will know that their children are not being, they have not been sent out to read or medicine and all of that by the time they go to education. To public, compared to public institutions. If government does not give attention to it in terms of remedying the falling standard in our own public schools, government therefore should fund private institutions so that they can bring the standard of public schools to the private schools. I think that should be a remedy, because if government has the private institutions, we now equate with what we have in public schools. Thank you very much for it.
All right, thank you, distinguished colleagues. Before we go to the prayer, let me commend all of you for your fine contributions in a sector that is very critical to all of us. Two certificates or more certificates we gathered that has entitled us to be in this Senate. And I think that as a public servant, it's also important that we provide those educational qualifications for our citizens so they can have the privilege we now have. And I believe that whether in public or private sectors, we must all do our best for equality, for people to aspire for raising this issue or prescribed for them. No room for regression. It's unacceptable of this motion, and those who have spoken for your fine contributions. So let's quickly go to the prayers. Prayer 1, that we urge the federal and state governments to declare state of emergency in the education sector. Please, what are the...
My observation actually, all the prayers local governments have been missed out. I just want to draw our attention to that, and that we should incite local governments in the prayers.
Is there a little problem with that? Okay, so the prayer will now read, urge the federal, state and local governments to declare state of emergency in the education sector, right? Okay, those in support of this prayer amendment say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have been. Prayer 2, urge the federal and state governments to restore the glory of the teaching profession by improving the status of teachers through building capacities to deliver better quality education. Those in support of this prayer say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have been. Prayer 3, urge the federal, state and local government to be more involved in early childhood education, seeing that it is the foundation of every level of education. Those in support of this prayer say aye. Apologies for delivering on their mandate. Bill.
Additional prayer, sir. Urge the federal, state and local, ask the federal government to adequately fund its educational institutions for better results, because they are not adequately funded.
Meaning that? Yes. Okay. Guys have it.
Distinguished colleagues, development projects.
Thank you, Mr. President. My name is Senator Mr. Babuka Azuzan Katana North. The motion about is so important and fundamental in this country. You note, the Senate knows that the National Assembly enacted the Electoral Power Sector Reform Act in 2005 on March 11th, which started the electricity market, the establishment of the Nigerian Electric Regulatory Commission, NEC, provides for the licensing and regulation of the entire value chain of the Nigerian electricity market. Also note that the privatization exercise became effective on November 1st, 2013, when the unbundled power generation company, GENCO, and the 11 distribution companies, DISCO, while the ownership and control of the transmission company of Nigeria, TCN, was retained by federal government for strategic reasons. Significant new 2004, which metamorphized in aware that this institution oversees generation portfolio companies, 10 of them, 10 gas-fired power plants with cumulative design capacity of 4,774 megawatts, total asset value of $8.5 billion, comprising generation projects because of gas supply shortage and uncompleted transmission projects. Only about 1,200 megawatts is accessible to the national grid at that time. At that time, there was a lot of shortage, and the NIPCs were supposed to add additional power supply to the system. Consequently, upon the commencement, restricted to policy and oversight of the authority, and these are: the federal government continues to commit to develop project initiatives in order to increase power generation capacity and diffuse the energy mix beyond thermal generation to renewable energy such as hydropower, solar, and wind energy. Consequently, certain project initiatives were retained for direct supervision by the Federal Ministry of Works, by the Ministry of Power. These include 3,050 megawatts, that's the Mambila Hydro Project, the 700 megawatts in Yeru Hydro Project, the 215 Kaduna Thermal Power Project, and the 50 megawatt Katsina Wind Project. Further note, those annually significant and incremental sums are appropriated towards these projects, and the National Assembly has been approving such appropriation in the interest of conceived intention to improve generation capacity in Nigerian citizens. What is that? There are challenges of managing such projects because the Federal Ministry of Power, as currently constituted, does not have the required professional competence and resources to effectively execute these projects, hence the resource to engaging contractors and consultants for every project development activity. Also worried that the implementation of large-scale projects is always fraught with the risk of cost and schedule overrun, with attendant consequences being applicable to strict provisions for liquidated damages, such as fixed contract sums and set delivery periods. Unfortunately, these conditions of contract cannot be met under the setting of the ministry. Further note that necessary projects were conceived and done in a similar fashion. National Fertilizer Company of Nigeria, NAFCON, Delta Steel Company Limited, and upon completion, the project managers were appointed as the managing directors, while full-stream staff members were recruited prior to commissioning the project. What it means here is that full-fledged staff were actually recruited that were in charge of the project, so that they now know what has been built and they can be able to be in a position to run the projects when they are completed. Further aware that when the federal government was keen to build gas-based power plants, which are the NIPC I mentioned, it created the Niger Delta Independent Power Project, NIPC, to build, manage, and operate these schemes. Although some of these power generation plants have been sold, NPDHC has continued to own and run these plants, while the government is preparing, expanding its project implementation of the CCSR Act 2005. This act has not given the regulatory body, that is Nigeria Electricity Regulatory Commission, NEC, and other agencies created by the Reform Act, the enabling environment to develop their capacity to regulate and create the electricity market required to attract investment in the sector. This assertion is evident by the fact that over 100 billion has been provided for the construction of power projects by the ministry to announce the approval of over 5 billion. How to urge the federal government to to immediately incorporate special purpose vehicles for the implementation of the following alternative energy projects: hydropower project, solar project, and wind power project. The Federal Ministry of Power, Works and Housing urged the Federal Ministry of Work, Power and Housing to use gas as a source of energy for the Kaduna project in accordance with the original project concept, and the MOU signed with gas suppliers to complete the project as adequate provision has been made for the project in the 2022 budget. Here, under this project in particular, the ministry is trying to use diesel rather than gas. And we do know that gas is the best form of energy that you can use to fire those generating plants that have been installed. But currently, the ministry wants to use diesel, and that is not advisable. The federal government to employ qualified management teams to take charge of the project development in the SPPs and gradually restore the company's readiness for full operations when the projects are commissioned. Urge the Federal Ministry of Federal Government to transfer all generation, transmission, and rural education projects to the respective agencies for proper administration. Currently, there are transmission, distribution, and rural education projects within the ministry, while we have agencies that are actually responsible for these activities. And the last prayer is the above-named SPPs urge the federal government to urge the above-named SPPs, when created, to comply with the provisions of the Electric Power Sector Reform Act by applying to NEC for the generation licenses and to the PCN for grid interconnection approval. What it means here is that any SPP that is created will now have to obtain a license from NEC for generation and PCN for transmission. This is what is provided for under the Act. Any of these, the Reform Act is actually not working the way it should, and that is why we are not having any clear-cut.
And I'm the chairman of the committee. Let me second it itself is already acting along its own mandate of oversight for making sure that these concerns, just a few clarifications to find today, is that the ministry continues to appropriate these jobs that are specifically meant to be done by agencies under the ministry. So you find that the ministry is building power plants, these ones that we have listed here. The ministry is going ahead to do transmission projects and even distribution projects. They are doing, what these schools ought to actually do. And so we think that it's an anomaly, and we are taking measures to see whether we can bring the ministry back to what it ought to break up that ministry. I think that one ministry with all these myriad things is actually too much. Second, we find also from what is inside this is in that because of this fact that the ministry is doing the job that it's supposed not to do, the ministry itself does not do much. What it does is just engage consultants. When it engages consultants, it asks the consultants to go ahead to work with whatever contractor is there. Of course, the danger is when you now complete that project, what do? The ministry now is stuck with a project that is not, it cannot manage, because it's not the job of the ministry to manage projects, actually. They will now start go out to say, what do you do? First, you cannot, just like the Act says, you cannot run that so without getting a license, which means the best way to go forward today is that each of these projects should have a special purpose vehicle. And using that, you can now train Nigerians who are there and are part of the NEC, that is the Electricity Regulatory Commission, has its own functions. But we find that today, the ministry takes over the functions of the NEC. You can't blame NEC. They have a minister who worked for more than 1 year when there was none of these commissions in place. And the minister has now been used to giving instructions and now expect that the commissions, so the commissions are not as independent as we would expect. So while we are supportive of this motion, we also want for members to be aware that there is need to urge the federal government to let agencies under its set up by law to do the needful as is stipulated by law. I so second.
All right, thank you, Senator Lujimi.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. President, initially I was worried. I was going to ask what the committee had been doing because they have oversight. They oversight all these institutions. And I thought it was time enough for them to be up and doing. But with the explanation of the chairman of the committee, it is very clear that there is this discrepancy in having one man very many major ministries. And it is now right for us to ask that that is properly taken care of. This motion goes a long way to indict the entire, in this chamber can support.
Senator John Eno and Senator Yahaya.
Mr. President, my name is John Eno, Cross River Central. Mr. President, as you indicated, this motion is quite comprehensive and actually, throws up quite a lot. And I think that if you understand that our main problem in this country remains the power sector, and you look at the content of this motion, you won't need to go too far to understand why we are where we are. I mean, year in, year out, our capacity of what we're doing, it has remained the same. I mean, it's the Electric Power Sector Reform Act 2005. I mean, remains the roadmap. But as of today, we are not too sure. Is the power sector privatized? Is it still under public ownership and control? You find ministries working too hard to make sure that they are not confined to what their role should be in terms of policy. Because that role makes them unable to give contracts, to have big, provisions in the budget and all that. It continues to hold this country down. You find that compared to the, communication sector, in spite of its own problems as well, NCC, what NCC is to the communication sector is what the Regulatory Commission, NEC, is supposed to be to the power sector. But you don't know about them. You don't hear them because of the way that the power sector is being run. So I think that it's very important that this matter has been brought for discussion at the floor of the Senate. And I think that I'm also very encouraged by the contributions of the chairman of the committee that a lot of what is in front of here is what the committee is already handling. I believe that this motion was brought here in order that the Senate can also help and put its own its own interest. And I think that a lot of the times, in the course of a particular tenure, we wait to the end of the tenure before we begin to ask questions about what has happened to the power sector. I think that this motion should seriously tax us and engage us enough to continue to want to find out what's going on there. I think that the Committee on Power also owes this Senate the duty because of the importance of the sector to our national economy.
All the time, what has been happening is that our own past and something that we have to bring to the table for the people of this country. In fact, when we discuss with the mover of the motion, my own position is that we should go and craft a bill so that we create this institution. You cannot create expensive institutions like Mombila Hydro plants, or these gas plants that we spent a lot of money building would have been dead by now without that special purpose vehicle. You can't come and invest that much resources, and then at the end of the day, there is no institutional memory, because the way they are going, and if we build Mombila Hydro on the same basis, we are going to end up with a huge conglomerate without even knowing how to run it, unless we are going to keep the Chinese there forever. Because unless we go and build and find and build an institutional delivery system that has a memory, built-in memory, with the trained staff that are going to be together with the Chinese, will become slaves forever. There is need, Mr. President, for us to sit down and change the policy trajectory of this country. Otherwise, we are doomed. I thank you for giving this opportunity, Mr. President. I also thank the mover of the motion and the chairman of the committee for the clarifications that have been rendered. Thank you very much, Mr. President.
All right, finally, Senator Engineer Gobert.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency and distinguished colleagues. This is actually a very serious issue in the sense that the Minister of Power, Housing, this is a very big ministry, and works also. And because of that, there is need to have an agency that is particularly responsible for all these problems we are having in the power sector. In fact, it is this one that is the problems of the entire nation in terms of power supply. Because if we look at this issue here, we told them way back in 2014, I remember, we had this problem. In fact, by that time, Philip Aduda was the chairman of power. During that period, we went there and told them exactly how they should behave. In fact, they should create all these special purpose vehicles. But to our dismay, nothing was actually done. We told them also about the way to come up with the proper energy mix, whereby they can be able to produce the so-called 40,000 megawatts. Because the first thing we did was we said, okay, take the gas for example. What percentage of that 40,000 megawatts? And they said, okay, look, I think this is what we are going to do. We will do that. And that was never done. I think we have to have our policy well forecast, but unfortunately we cannot do it. Why? Because we lack the political will to do it. If you look at places like South Korea, for example, they have a population of only 40 million, but they have 80,000 megawatts, which means that for every person, for every South Korean, he has 2,000 megawatts to use. But in Nigeria, with 4,000 megawatts, in fact, every one of us is battling with when to switch on the light, it will blink, and then it will go off. So I think this is very unfortunate that we are still having this. There is need for us to have this special purpose vehicle so that all these things can be addressed. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you very distinguished colleagues, and I'm happy the correct things have been done, but it also seem to have been done. Every talk about growing our economy will not work unless we're able to reposition our power sector and be able to create a situation where we have energy sufficiency. Because so long as the private sector depends on private arrangement for energy requirements, the cost of our goods will continue to be high, especially the ones that are produced here. And that's why sometimes you discover, ironically, that imported goods are cheaper than one produced in Nigeria. It's the cost of the energy that's pushing the cost of locally made goods up. And now the temptation is for most of the manufacturers to now import the same goods they're supposed to be manufacturing locally, they import it from abroad and they sell it as if they're ensuring that we have energy sufficiency in this country, and they also ensure that it is also sustained. So whatever can be done to reposition these agencies to ensure that the correct thing is done, I think that this nation must support it. So we need aggressive committee on the same page in respect of this. So let me quickly now go to the prayers. First, to urge the federal government to immediately incorporate SBVs for the I. Those against saying the ayes are prayer 2. Urge the Federal Minister of Power, Works and Housing to use gas as the source of energy for the Cardinal project in accordance with the original project concept, and then will you sign with gas suppliers to complete the ayes are prayer 3. Urge the federal government to employ qualified management team to take charge of the project development in the special purpose vehicles and gradually resource the companies in prayer 4. Urge the federal government, those against saying ayes have it. Finally, the urge the above-named special post vehicles, when created, to comply with provisions of the Electric Power Sector Reform Act by applying to NEC for the generation licenses and to the TCN for grid interconnection approval. Those of this prayer say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Additional prayer.
All the federal government to appoint a substantive. So they should have a complete standing minister to run the power sector effectively.
And I want to, as a standalone.
But the problem is that they have one minister. The part of the additional prayer that the federal government do appoint a separate minister for the Minister of Power. Those supposed to say aye. Those against saying nay. The ayes have it. Any additional prayer? Yes, Senator Aduda.
You know, through the alternative power supply, and I'm sure there was a time as chairman of the power committee, there was a lot of money that was spent on trying to find out what deposits we have. It is to be added, yes. It should be added. It's an amendment, sir. Motion will be urged the federal government to
to save you, I think what you do is additional prayer is to include code as part of the, as item D, additional prayer as item D in prayer 1. That's what it's saying. To include code as item D as additional prayer. Any person supporting that? Yes, Senator Gobre.
So, Your Excellency, distinguished colleagues, I second the motion already on the floor. Already on the floor.
All right, those in support of the additional prayer that could be included as item 1C, say aye.
Mr. President, this motion for him to consult
colleagues arise to second the motion ably moved by the Senate leader that we do stand down the next item on the other paper to another legislative day.
All right, thank you. Those in support of the prayer say aye.
Today's order of the day is a motion standing in the name of Muhammad Mr. Farmers.
Your Excellency, as you could observe, I have a lot of enemies in this piece. So I'll make sure I'll go very careful.
They are rather your friends. If you are enemies, you kill your motion now.
Strengthening the laudable effort that is being started already by Central Bank to assist, therefore aware, create a linkage between anchor and smallholder farm to boost agricultural production with a view to increasing commercial production, not to reduce agricultural commodity importation and conserve external in-kind and cash inputs and agro-processors and create a new generation of farmers, entrepreneurs, thereby be repaid with harvest produced not be above 9%. And the Presidential Committee on Rice Production launched the program in some states like Kebbi, Jigawa, Ebonyi. Aware that the program has led to massive cultivation, self-subsistence in food production practice. According, call on government at all levels to embrace the anchor borrowers program. 2, direct the Federal Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Development, Presidential Committee on Rice Production, and other agencies concerned to sustain the momentum in states where the program is already launched. Finally, 3, mandate the Committee on Agriculture and Rural Development to investigate the circumstances surrounding the delay in extending this laudable intervention.
Alone, I represent Yobe North. Okay. Invited of Anko Barawas. And they sent him extremely busy harvesting their rice. This story tells of the success of the Anko Barawas program in Kebbi State. We want to see replication of this kind of success in all the states. We must succeed in creating wealth and employment. Then agriculture is the surest way to go. I also believe that we don't have a relative advantage on. where states have other crops, I think the anchors of the Federation supporting our farmers, I'm sure that there will be more people from requests for this program to be an all-inclusive in the sense of including other crops in other parts of the country where those crops are better than rice and better than any of those targets that the CBN is working on. With this, I believe that the sponsor of this motion, who is incidentally a very big farmer, who was also one time a managing director or a director of a sugar Bashita, no, not eating money. He was producing a lot of sugarcane, and of course, I believe that there are also other big-time farmers here. I can see Senator Barrow Jubrin, Mado Akin Katana, and so many others. We should leave the Anko Barrow's program to those who have no means, who have little access to funds and loans. And I agree totally that the loan rate, the interest should not be more than 9%. In fact, if it can be 5%, that would be fantastic. Thank you very much for the privilege.
All right, thank you. Senator Farmer Jubrin Barrow.
To give an instance of what happened last week, I was given an award by the press corps of the National Senate, and I invited my chairman, my party chairman, a very luxurious hotel for that matter. But they said no, they were going to spend only one day because they wanted to go back home and begin the harvesting of rice that they've planted, they've cultivated. This is very, very nice development. People not wanting to stay in Abuja, but going back home to get involved in harvesting their farm produce is something that should be good news for all of us. And for the purpose of emphasis, we've been saying it here in this chamber, that the only way we can have a sound economy in this country, a robust economy, apart from, because we'll be able to feed ourselves, and again, supply the necessary raw materials to our industries. And this can then pay back through providing this farm produce to those who gave you the money. This is very beautiful. Well, it has started in some few states. This should be extended. This is exactly what is and Anambra, Mr. President, and Yobe, everywhere. So I support this motion, and I also commend the mover of this motion. Thank you, Mr. President.
All right, I'll go to the prayers. Thank you. But let me also add that I think that we also need to have institutional memory and look at certain work that's been done in the past as we encourage the extension. So can we now go to the prayers? Now call on government at all levels to embrace the Anchor Borrowers programs. Those in support of this prayer, say aye. Those against, say nay. The ayes have it. Prayer 2. Direct the Federal Minister of Agriculture and Rural Development, Presidential Committee on Rice Production, and other agencies concerned to sustain the momentum in states where the program is already launched. Those in support of this prayer, say aye. Those against, say nay. The ayes have it. Mandate the Committee on Agriculture and Rural Development to investigate the circumstances surrounding the delay in extending this laudable intervention program to other states and the FCT. Those in support of prayer 3, say aye. Those against, say nay. The ayes have it. Thank you, Senator Lafiaji. I want to thank Aja Prayer, Buka Mustafa.
Thank you, Mr. President, distinguished colleagues. One of the key issues actually with regards to ANCA program or other programs that affect the agricultural sector is the issue of access to market. That's what the ANCA program does. Mandate the Senate Committee on Agriculture and Rural Development and the Capital Market to investigate the issues militating against the takeoff of the commodity stock exchange market in the country. I am aware that Nigeria has...
Is anybody supporting that?
Thank you very much, Mr. President. My name is Senator
Central. So my initial prayer is in regard to insurance. There is need for us to implement insurance, especially in the laws where we have a lot of droughts. So for us to sustain this, there is need for us to have insurance elements so that there will be sustainability and there will be development. Because most of us, sometimes we have drought. So where there is drought, where will the farmer fall to? But if it's insured, at least there is that possibility, even here.
Put on your microphone.
Need to ensure in the event of drought so that we will retain sustainability and make it a rolling loan. Okay, need to ensure in the event of drought.
What is the prayer? Read the prayer. Let us see. Your microphone.
Mr. President, my prayer is this. There is need for us to ensure the crops we are farming so that at least in the event of drought, there will be compensation. That's my prayer.
Who is going to ensure the farmer or the government? Farmer to ensure is the farmer. No one of you do Senator Jubril. Okay. All right. Put on your microphone if you want to speak. Put on your microphone if you want to speak now.
The state government will pay 75%, so it's subsidy. It's heavily subsidized. So that is the standard.
Yes, Mr. Jubril.
Industry. Anyway, but I second. I agree with him. I second. They need to provide insurance cover for their investment.
Just growth, because that is a natural happening. The growth. It's a natural thing.
Now when we put the question there, just say vote the way you want. Those in support of the additional prayer that farmers will take steps to ensure their farms against certain occurrences. Those against saying the eyes have it. Sir leader.
Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, I rise to second the motion that we stand down.
The delegation will be led by Senator Sani Musa and Senator Yusuf, those man being a father.
Mr. President, very distinguished colleagues, 2017 at 10 a.m. prompt.
Minority Leader.